Paul Durso here, Insight Folios, and not too long ago I had a discussion with a client that led me to the conclusion that sometimes there's a cloud of confusion over us revolving some very specific financial discussions, most important being diversification. And sometimes we kind of put diversification on a cloud. We put it up high and we have this understanding that diversification is very, very important. Don't get me wrong, I think it is very important, but let's talk about it very quickly. And I've heard the phrase, I'm sure you have too, that you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, that you should actually spread your eggs in a bunch of different baskets. So let's think about that analogy here for a minute. And let's think about having maybe 7 different baskets. And you've got a few eggs, and you're going to put those few eggs in every single one of these baskets. First of all, how in the world are you going to hold all of those baskets? And if you had to go somewhere with all of those eggs in all these different several baskets, aren't those eggs going to start moving around as you move those baskets? Just think logically for a second about eggs in a basket. And if you're going to move those eggs in that big basket, those eggs are going to smash up against each other and they're going to crack and they're going to get destroyed. Let's think about a much larger basket and just put a bunch of different types of eggs in that one singular basket. Although they're different types of eggs, they're all going into the same basket. It's the same concept. You've got one where you've got a bunch of different baskets and maybe the same type of eggs split across several different baskets, or a bunch of different types of eggs in several different types of baskets. But either way you look in that scenario, nothing's holding anything together. Everything's compartmentalized, not working together at all. And there's really no strength. And then you have this one singular basket, and you've got all these different types of eggs. Some are the same, some are different, but as a group, there's a lot of diversification, and they're all working together, holding each other tightly. And as you move about, run, walk, crawl, there's a lot of security in that basket as you hold it, and it's going to take a lot. Even though they're tightly packed in, it's going to take a lot to break them all. And that's diversification. It's not what we necessarily think, keeping all your eggs in different baskets. It can be actually a bunch of different things in the same basket can be diversification. But my point to you isn't that concept or that illustration. It's what's more important, diversification or income. As you know from watching these videos, I'm very passionate about planning for retirement income. And I feel like sometimes we get distracted on things that sound very financial, like diversification, asset allocation, understanding emerging markets and small, mid, to large cap, and having everything work together. And yes, that is very important. That's vital to retirement success. But at the end of the day, if you haven't mapped out your retirement income and know where that income is going to come from, regardless of how you get there, you're never going to be able to afford to retire. If your income isn't completely mapped out and you're not 100% certain that you're never going to have to go back to work, what does diversification matter anyways? Or asset allocation, or anything along the lines of financial discussions. Retirement planning for income is the #1 priority. If you're going to put that up high, that's great. Everything else falls second to that. So although I think and I believe diversification is very important, I believe it holds the 2nd, 3rd, 4th seat in a row with many other discussions that are very important to talk about, but everything pales in comparison to making sure that we've mapped out a very solid retirement income. All right? So hopefully you learned a little bit. If you have any more questions, you can always call our office, visit our website. Hopefully you've learned a little bit today.